What is school for? Feel free to call me slow, but I spent 16 years going to school, and I still don't know. When I finished, I didn't know how to do my own taxes, purchase a home, or apply for a loan. I didn't know a thing about investments, building credit, or getting a job. I graduated at the top of my class, and what did I have? This fancy diploma to sit at home with my mom. But luckily, they did teach me some important skills like factoring trinomials and how mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. I'm so happy I remember the Pythagorean theorem, because it helped me a lot. Okay, I'm lying, let me stop. Because all the stuff they taught me, truthfully, I forgot. Mom, remember when you would ask me, what did you learn in school today? And I would say, nothing much. I wasn't being modest. The truth about it, Mom, is I had already forgotten. And it's not just me. Millions of students sing the same song. How many of you guys avoid eye contact with the teacher to try not to get caught upon? Afraid to raise your hand for fear of being wrong, which proves that school isn't an environment for learning or building up the intellect. It's just a game you play for grades and how many A's you can collect. But I guess what do you expect when the most commonly asked question in class is this gonna be on the test? Is this gonna be on the test? See, if school put learning instead of testing and memorizing as the top standard, then the letter F would not stand for failure. It would stand for find another answer. And if school was really interested in our personal and academic success, students would wake up later, have more freedom, and homework a lot less. And that's not my opinion. This conclusion has been scientifically tested and proven. And any teacher that doesn't believe me, feel free to check my works cited page to inspect. Oh, and I did it in MLA format because I know that's all you will accept. See, students would get more benefit from an extra hour of sleep than putting them through the torture of an extra essay, reading 150 pages, doing problems 1 through 60 on the worksheet, and having 3 projects due by the end of the week. Not only is it pointless pain, but it's also dim-witted, because we get so much work, but they don't teach the time management skills to deal with it. See, in school, we are controlled by bells. We have to learn in rooms with the feng shui of a prison cell. We have to ask permission to relieve bodily functions, but not before the teacher asks a million questions like, why didn't you go before class? I'm sorry, my bladder is kind of on its own schedule and it's not always timely. See, teachers always say, use your time wisely. But that never made sense to me. Because these 6 cruel hours of our lives we call school might literally be the worst use of time management ever in history. Think about it, the traditional teaching method is foolish. No, it's useless, multiplied by the square root of stupid. What they do is they cram information in your head, force feeding you, and then you throw it up on the test. That's not education, that's bulimia. And the more bulimic you are, the better you will do on their assessments. So it's no wonder why so many students graduate mentally and emotionally anorexic. See, school teaches you how to memorize dots. True education should teach you how to connect them. True education teaches you how to catch a fish. School teaches you, yeah, you caught the fish, but you didn't show your work, so it doesn't count. Throw it back. I'm just asking, what is school for? It's not education, that's just not true. If you still think that, you might be sniffing glue. See, the word education comes from the Latin root educe, meaning bring out, i.e. bring the gifts out of a person and make them viable. But school doesn't bring out much, it just stuffs more facts inside of you. Now some of that stuff is justifiable. We need reading, writing, and some arithmetic, that's fair. But are you telling me metamorphic and igneous rocks are more important than self-care? If suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death of ages 10 to 24, and Harvard studies suggest the biggest predictor for success is self-control and emotional health, then why the heck aren't we taught how to handle stress, bullies, or rejection? How about anxiety or depression? You know, skills we need for our entire lives. Bro, I don't even know how to cook. I'm honestly surprised I'm still alive. But hey, at least I can name all the battles that happened in the Civil War. Seriously, what is school for? Some say you need it to be successful, and that's something we do not doubt. But do you own a MacBook or iPhone? Did you know they both were created by a dropout? Are you watching this video on Facebook or YouTube? Doesn't matter which you choose. They both were created by dropouts. Ever use Snapchat, WhatsApp, shopped at Whole Foods? Well, thank a dropout. Does your home furniture come from IKEA? Okay, don't get the wrong idea. He was not a dropout. Don't be a fool. I mean, how could he drop out? Ingvar Kamprad, founder of IKEA, never even went to school. I know what you're thinking. He's just picking and choosing. There's millions who didn't go to school that aren't successful. Who is he fooling? And you're right. But open your history books and start perusing. You'll find the very people we idolize in school never really had formal and/or secondary schooling. I'm talking George Washington, Abe Lincoln. America's best presidents had zero school between them. Ben Franklin, Thomas Edison, shall I proceed? Ernest Hemingway, Mark Twain, Teddy Roosevelt, Margaret Mead. Now please, I'm not saying drop out, because some schools are great and many teachers are rare treasures. I'm saying that there's a difference between people who are smart and people who score better. I'm saying that your future is something that no test will ever measure. Even if that test begins in 3 letters like SAT, ACT, it's BS if they say those determine your LIFE. No, your destiny is in your hands. You must shape it to be great. So don't expect school to open doors, because it's more likely to slam them in your face. Sometimes I wonder about all the dreams lost in school and how much potential goes to waste. If it wasn't for music and YouTube, then I would have been just another lost case. Everybody watching this, please, close your eyes. Imagine a child sitting in the back of some teacher's class in some town. He never raises his hand, he fails most of his classes, but inside of him, there is a passion. And if nurtured and brought out, will lead him to discover the cure for cancer. But you see, I'm afraid that that child's gift will never come out. He will never win the Nobel Prize award because in class he was ignored and his worth was judged only by his scores. So teachers, principals, parents, advisors, and students, I ask one more time, what is school for?
I just realized while editing the video that you guys need to know something. And what I mean is you need to go rewatch the video from this timestamp all the way to this one. And what you will see is, and what I want you to see actually, is the actual video in the corner instead of the reaction. And I'll wait for you. Just go and rewatch that stuff. Done? Great. So, here I quote. There are some great schools and some teachers who are real treasures. And I need to tell you that I've been so fortunate to have been a part of such a school, which is, I can't even put it into words. It's really great. Like, what more can I say? So, and the other thing is that the teachers that you are about to see in the interview are the teachers who I have found to be the best treasures of my schooling years. They have given me tools and skill sets and what have you to deal with life. And I want that knowledge to be passed on to the entire world. So, here goes the actual video, and I wanted to tell you this before you go ahead and watch the video so that you have some great context. So, with that said, let's get into the video and go. So, what did you think about the video?
It's a big question. All right. Not to justify, but school is, yes, bringing too many dreams to us. School is about shaping and grooming and learning and giving you skills, which is the most important thing, and making you independent. The model which we are running through, the advisory and the teaching and the best technology, everything is equipping you with the skills that you require. So life, yes, is very good to have plans in your life, to have appropriate path. I'll graduate, I'll do my post-graduation, and I'll find a good job, and I'll be through. But on the other side, yes, as life skills, we need to understand and learn that life is about reflections. Some would be opportunities, some would be success, some would be failure. Failure would give you life lessons. So it is not always that yes, a correct person is who is the best scorer and who is completed the task 100%, always on time. It's not about that. Somebody who can do, plan, achieve, very good. On the other side, there are students, there are people, there are humans who would make errors, learn from the errors and grow. So life according to me is this, it's better, it's okay. If you don't have a plan, it's okay. Rather, the correct advice is don't say no. Whatever comes your way, say yes. Because you don't know what God has destined for you.
I believe it's more analyzing the other side. School is about character building. It's about having good qualities in the person. And it's not the subject that is important, but the qualities which you get during the learning process, that's what makes the difference. You study a subject like chemistry or accounting or finance or economics or anything, it may not have its application in real life, day-to-day life, but the qualities which you get while learning a subject, of commitment, of hard work, of being honest to your task, accepting your failure, learning to give a test and underperformed and accepting, okay, I undertried. All these qualities makes the difference. It's the content is important, but it's secondary in importance in my opinion. Thank you. It was a nice one.
Thank you, sir.
It's really interesting. It talks about one aspect of what school is not for, and what school is for is a very different aspect. So I feel at a lot of places he was right, that it's just not about memorizing, right? And there is a huge part of the world which is not educated but yet successful. So the biggest life lesson that anybody can learn is to understand the difference between right and wrong. If you can understand that what you are doing is right, whether ethically or socially, culturally, and will not affect somebody negatively, then you are a person, you are a better human being. School might teach you the difference between how to use your time wisely. It's not just about balancing your time in life, it's about knowing where to have that professional and personal life balance. So when you grow up to become a successful businessman, you need to balance your time in such a way that you're giving enough time to your profession and enough time to your personal life, that is your family. So that is what I think that 6 hours of school is teaching you right now. So when we as teachers tell you to work here rather than carry it home, we mean this, right? Obviously when you have homework, that is just a kind of revision of what you have done. So even in life, there will be a time when you look back and think of what things you have done, what you should not have done, where you could have made a mistake and try to correct your mistakes. So it's same in homework as well. The other thing that he's talked about in the video is some things that come when you go out in the social, in the society, and you learn from the other people. A lot of people have dropped out of school, you learn from them, but you also learn from people who have made it successfully in their life because of education. So School teaches you good things, bad things, and I think every aspect is important. No matter what age you are, life is always a test. So take each day at one time and consider it to be a test every day, a challenge every day, and a point to learn something new every day. So there's no end to learning, no matter how old you are. Right? Life itself is the biggest test and challenge that one can have. So school is part of it, and that is why education is important.
If you look at it, whatever that Prince Sia has been talking about, we firmly believe in whatever that he has said, and that is something that reflects into whatever that we have been doing into our classroom. We have, of course, there is one question which is continuously asking what schools are meant for. We firmly believe that schools are not meant for only the bookish knowledge. The bookish knowledge, the textbooks are giving you very limited knowledge, which is majority of the time not contemporary, something that is not useful in real life, but this is useful only for the sake of, let's say, tests, right? Not only that, if you look at the tests are based only on the memory. So only we are checking only one skill of yours, and that is memorization, nothing beyond that. Now what school should be like? Of course, the best schools are the ones which prepare you for life, and that is why the knowledge, the contemporary knowledge and the skills and the experiences is what should be offered to the students. School is something which has to have connection. See, I'm of the opinion that school should not be limited to the knowledge, because now knowledge is available on the net. You can take up online courses, you can take up you can learn from any teacher from around the world. That particular knowledge is free, knowledge is everywhere. What school should be? School should teach skills. Schools should give you experiences. Schools should just prepare you for life. I think that is what school should be. How about you, Sagar?
Yeah, I will definitely relate to like really nice quote mentioned by one of the great American inventor named Charles Gutenberg. He said, invention is a combination of brains and materials. The more you use, the more you develop. So I really quite passionate about that particular quote, and I'm implementing it since my high school, and I can see the big differences what I was before. I was a kind of a shy, open, not so open. I was quite isolated kind of a kid. Now I am completely open, which is quite different. So I went to a school where all this kind of infrastructure was there, so I developed that particular skill. So I really agree with ma'am. That skill is one of the important aspects if you go to school.
One thing which pinches me very much in this particular aspect is that on one hand, our education system is where we are asking students to kind of simply memorize whatever that is there and write it within 3 hours of examination time. We are doing this within the school where we are not teaching you, we are simply asking you to memorize it. On top of it, parents and students also need additional tuitions to simply go through this particular process. So as it is, whatever that is happening in the school, it's not good enough, but we do it twice by simply going to the coaching classes and going to the tuition classes. In the end, all we are doing it is we are actually making our intellect inferior. We are not using our head, we are simply using our memory at different levels. And that is what makes student an incomplete person when he or she goes out into the college or goes out into the life, because we have never taught them anything other than memorization. Thank you very much.